God bless you. Welcome to another Proverb from ELS. I want to do an extended version of the proverb today. I want to talk about seeing light at the end of your tunnel. Seeing the light at the end of your tunnel. I want to read the scripture and then I want to talk about that light at the end of the tunnel for a minute. Let's go to John chapter 8 and verse 12, and it reads, John chapter 8 verse 12, and it reads, Then Jesus spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the world, and he who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. He that follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Let's talk about the light at the end of the tunnel before I read this proverb that I want to get. When we talk about the light at the end of the tunnel, you're referring to the end of a difficult or maybe unpleasant situation that you may be in or are in for a moment. When we talk about light at the end of a tunnel, we're looking for signs of improvement in a situation that has been bad for a long time, or signs that a long and difficult piece of work may be almost finished. That light at the end of a tunnel. I always wonder when I used to, I go to work every day and I have to go through the Mountain Merrimack Tunnel or Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. And I always, when I get on my way going to the tunnel, I always try to get behind the cars who are going the fastest as we approach the tunnel. Why is that? Because maybe in my mind, I want to always hurry up and get to the other side of the tunnel. The tunnel seems to have so much darkness and closed in, confined space. Some of us have phobias about tight spaces, but nevertheless, we try to rush and get in position before we go through the tunnel, because we do know that by law, we can't change lanes in the tunnel. So what happens if we do try to change lanes in the tunnels of life? Lane changes may result in cutting other drivers off, hurting other people. Lane changes in the tunnel makes it difficult to help others in time of a crash, in the case of a crash or accident. Lane changes in the tunnel always makes it very difficult for the rescue workers to get to the scene of the accident. So as we go through our tunnels of life, are we able to stay in our lanes? Jesus said, those that follow me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. So let me read this proverb to you for some encouragement. If you've been going through the tunnels of life and it does not seem like there's light at the end of the tunnel, I want you to hear me clearly. Don't change lanes in the tunnels of life, because God has promised us that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. So stay in your lane all the way through the trials of life until you see Christ, the light of Christ, at the end of your tunnel. I want to read that again. Don't change lanes in the tunnels of life, because God promises us that we will see light at the end of our tunnel. So stay in your lane all the way through the trials of life until you see the light of Christ at the end. God bless you. This has been another Proverb from ELS, and as I always say, make it personal. And don't forget, stay in your lane.